Back in the 2000s, we had what many consider the golden age of mobile gaming, thanks to a revolutionary little platform called Java. Java was like the Swiss Army knife of mobile apps, letting developers create games that could actually work on different phones, something that had never happened before. This led to some interesting and sometimes bizarre adaptations of games for feature phones that were so far apart from the original releases that they felt like entirely new experiences, where developers had to balance keeping the essence of the original games while making them playable on a T-Mobile sidekick. They were doing whatever it took with what little they had to create something that shouldn't have worked but totally did. You could almost feel the whole world dreaming of what tech would bring us next. But along the way, something happened. Those humble little devices that used to do nothing but send texts and make calls, they turned into full-on pocket consoles, capable of running graphics and mechanics that would have been pure wizardry in the early 2000s. Fast forward to today, and modern smartphones are packed with sensors and other tech that, if used to their maximum potential, could offer far more dynamic experiences than PCs or consoles.
Yo, it's Timber.
And yet, games didn't get better. Mobile app stores turned into straight-up dumpster fires, and the reputation of a medium that once demonstrated the viability of a niche in the global market got trashed beyond recognition. Why aren't we actually using all the insane power we have now? At what point and why did mobile games just stop evolving? What is their true hidden potential? And above all, what the hell happened to mobile gaming? In today's era, things like AI are mainly being used at the pre-production and prototyping stage. Because look how easy it is to use this. Simply write what you need and you'll receive a 3D model within seconds. It's that fast. This website is called Meshy, and it is really awesome. If you're a solo dev with no team, no time, and no money, this is like magic. So big thanks to Meshy for sponsoring this video. I mean, you can even add your own image and turn it into a 3D model. And what if I told you that you can instantly retexture or refine your models, and that you have an advanced rigging built in to generate animation-ready 3D models with a functional skeleton system with more than 500 plus animations to choose from? And just like that, you can export the result directly into your favorite 3D software or game engine like Unreal or Unity. With Meshy, you also have a collection of remixable community assets, and not gonna lie, they look really good. That's the cutest thing I've ever seen. I've seen they've even got a multi-view generation, a prompt helper. I made this cool bunny. An automated retopology and batch processing? Wow! You can use this for other stuff like 3D printing, design, and animation. So if you need progress, make sure to try Meshy. Links in the description. We all remember the first Nokias, right? But did you know that this little guy could actually run 3D games? It's wild how much they were able to pull off with such a tiny CPU. Phones became an actual entertainment platform around the same time as this game started appearing on all Nokias from 1997 onward. Look, it's hard to pin down an exact number, but millions of hands touched that snake. And even though there was no color and no real gaming industry, these devices were super convenient and people liked it. So we got Space Impact, Bontoomy. The catalog of games grew until it became a core part of the experience, coming preloaded in the phone's firmware. In theory, we could download other games, but not many people did it. Today, a lot of those games are lost media. So here's a game that probably not many people know about, but it really pushed the limits of monochrome phone hardware. Monkiki's Castle, the first mobile game with 3D graphics. Its developers came up with specific tricks to get the phone to render polygons at a whopping 5 FPS. Look at that speed. Real polygon graphics. In a black and white, monkey pushing blocks sort of way. And this was only possible thanks to Java. Monkiki was like a prototype for what could be achieved in next-generation phones. From this point on, phones would be Java compatible. Things were about to get a whole lot more interesting.
410, laden Sie Ihre Spiele herunter.
Before, developers had to make bespoke games specifically for each phone model. But then Java 2 Micro Edition came in, and now games could run on multiple models without needing a complete rework. This was the era when some of the best games were coming out of a company called Gameloft, founded by one of the guys behind Ubisoft. We got games like Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six, and Prince of Persia. Tiny 96 by 65 pixel resolutions, black and white graphics, and super basic controls didn't stop these devs. Companies started getting funding, the basic tech was in place, and some decent games were already out there. But something was still missing: color. Less than a year later, color phones started becoming the norm. For a lot of people, this was their first taste of video games. Maybe you never got a Game Boy for Christmas, but if you were lucky enough to have a phone back then, you definitely had plenty of Java games in your pocket, right next to your Linkin Park ringtone. Suddenly, big-name licenses from Xbox, PlayStation, and Hollywood weren't just on consoles or in theaters. They were right in the palm of your hand. Gameloft gave us games like Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon, Rayman, and a ton of original series like Asphalt, Miami Nights, and the pocket-sized GTA Gangster Crime City. But developers still had to work around not just devices with barely any memory, but also this rule from carriers that games had to stay between 300 and 500 kilobytes because the internet was crap. But this just makes it more impressive when you think about how all those big titles were crammed into such tiny files. And unlike consoles, the mobile market had to deal with dozens of devices. Imagine working on a game, and by the time you're done, a bunch of new phones have already dropped. Like, look at that thing. What even is that thing? And get this, two phone models could be exactly the same, but if the manufacturer's software version was even a tiny bit different, it meant they had to make a separate version of the game for what was basically the same phone. That's what we call fragmentation. Despite all the challenges, this era gave us a ton of platformers and top-down games that actually felt pretty good on a numpad. Illegal Nintendo ports, indie games, and mini versions that, despite their flaws, had something special in their simplicity. No ads, no pay to win, just pure fun. This is a period in gaming history that often gets overlooked, but it was crucial for the growth and spread of gaming to the masses. Got some fond memories here. Come on, someone else remembers this too, right?
Get Molly on your phone. All you have to do is send MAD to 75555.
Now, with the arrival of 3D, the Symbian era got pretty wild. Get ready to see a quirky library of well-known franchises that were built from the ground up with these systems in mind. Tomb Raider Legend, Metal Gear Mobile, which was canon, by the way, and even Resident Evil 4. All of these studios started seeing phones as a way to reach a whole new audience. And phones now had power close to a PlayStation 1. Like, that's insane for a device you also use to call your grandma. This opened the door for more complex assets and game code, but even though it was a revolutionary time, it burned bright and vanished just as quickly. It was 2007, and no one saw it coming. A minimalist presentation, a guy in a black turtleneck.
What we're going to do is get rid of all these buttons and just make a giant screen.
And a device that looked like it came straight out of the future. Welcome to the touchscreen era. From the creators of the Bounce series, the Finnish studio Rovio brought us the first truly viral mobile game. They were angry. They were birds. They were, well, you know. Angry Birds was simple, super addictive, and most importantly, it solidified the idea that we were fully in the touchscreen gaming era, where a single finger was the ultimate controller. now, we had access to an app store, something that completely changed the face of the industry. And when Proper Mad Chippers, as it's known in the UK, launched in December 2009, it cost 99 cents. When it dropped on Android the following year, it had 1 million downloads in just 12 hours and crashed Google servers because the game was now free. This marked the turning point from premium games to the freemium model, a monetization strategy where developers could offer their games for free to everyone and still make money. Plus, as you can imagine, it let them reach a far more bigger audience. Starting in 2011, people were out here playing GTA and Minecraft on their Galaxy S2 like it was no big deal. Sure, the controls were just about as precise as a drunk toddler with a Sharpie covering about 93% of the screen, but dude, you had full-on console and PC IPs running on your phone, hitting that part of our brains. What can I say? We now had way more power at our fingertips, and suddenly ports became a way to play console games. But, worse. Though sometimes the controls weren't that bad, some companies actually did put in the effort, like Electronic Arts. Yes, I know, just hear me out. They gave us spin-offs of franchises like Mass Effect and Battlefield. I'll never forget how my Galaxy S2 would get so hot I could cook grilled cheese on it while playing Dead Space Mobile, a game where EA actually managed to capture the vibe of the original, and of course, it ended up being one of the most pirated APKs of the time. Seriously, I could cook an egg on that thing. Smartphones were way more powerful than you'd think at first glance. Some incredible titles came out that really pushed the new hardware. Asphalt 8, Modern Combat 5, games that felt like they were designed for a giant TV but were somehow on your Galaxy S2, proving that mobile wasn't just for casual games anymore. And guess what happened? The hyper-casual games. If casual games are simple, hyper-casual games are brain-dead simple, designed for super short play sessions with mechanics you can figure out in seconds. Companies like Voodoo turned mobile gaming into a cycle of mediocrity, where hyper-casual games ruled, and ads as well. Mobile app stores started giving more visibility to free titles, and all that sweet organic traffic got funneled into games where the store took their cut. 30% of all in-app purchases. Paid games like Dead Space Mobile, gone, pulled from the store. It's 2013 and EA drops the bombshell that all their games would now include microtransactions. That same year, EA won the award for the worst company in America. Even the ads for games took a nosedive in quality. One of the most important games in terms of advertising was Clash of Clans, thanks to its high-quality, almost cinematic trailers. But then came the trend of bad ads. Shout out to my level 1 crooks that will get to level 99 bosses and bend the laws of reality. A bunch of companies ruined the medium's reputation by flooding the market with misleading ads that looked nothing like the actual game. After this, people started realizing the mobile market was in a rough spot. And the worst part? Somehow it worked. Because the mobile platform expanded like never before. But just as there's this whole stigma happening against mobile games, with some people hating them so much they don't even consider them real games,
one could also argue that most of what these people are playing are not actual video games.
It's video games. It shouldn't be on a sports network. It's video games.
Down, Flash picks up the kill. He's very low health, but he gets out of there. Mango, he's trying to chase, but Best Junk, he's gonna pick it up. Team Solomon,
In 2014, we got Vainglory, the first MOBA for touchscreens. A game that, for many, was ahead of its time. A martyr that managed to bring a hardcore competitive experience to mobile. If you got the chance to play it before it, You know that Vainglory had just about as much depth as any PC MOBA. Hence, in 2016, professional esports teams formed divisions to compete on their Galaxy S2s or their 2016 equivalent, marking the vainglorious beginning of touchscreen esports. Thanks, Vainglory. In recent years, games like Free Fire, Mobile Legends, PUBG Mobile, Arena of Valor, and Brawl Stars haven't just played a big role in the growth of esports.
PUBG Mobile and Free.
They've also opened the doors of gaming to millions of players because, let's be real, in this economy, not everyone can drop a paycheck on a high-end PC. There are people out here building better than me with a keyboard and mouse? The hell? Chat, can someone confirm this? Nowadays, several mobile games are in the top 5 most watched esports of all time, with thick prize pools. But wait, there's something even thicker. The rise of this competitive scene in mobile gaming became one of the main catalysts for a company called Qualcomm, a semiconductor giant, to invest a ton of resources into boosting mobile processor performance. And they nailed it. They outperformed Nvidia so hard that Nvidia stopped making mobile processors altogether.
Sheesh, bro, they got cooked.
Now, Qualcomm isn't just behind the biggest mobile competition in the world, the Snapdragon Pro series, but they also created what is to date the most powerful mobile CPU in the world, the Snapdragon Elite 8. Now we've got phones with 7,000 milliamp hour batteries, silicon carbon batteries that pack more capacity without taking up extra space, smartphones with 24 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage, ray tracing, and refresh rates of 165 Hz. This phone is literally more powerful than a Steam Deck. Not only can you keep playing while sitting on the throne of kings, cross-platform games show us the gap between platforms has pretty much closed. And now you might be wondering, why do we even need this much power? Cyberpunk, Red Dead Redemption, and GTA 5 running at a stable 60 FPS. But wait, these were never ported to mobile. Yep, this is all thanks to Winlator, a Windows emulator for Android. Now, A, these aren't official ports, and B, they're not perfect, obviously, but with how few official ports are available in mobile, spoiler alert, there aren't really that many. It's wild to imagine a future where you don't have to wait for developers to take the initiative. As of now, there are over 130 games that can run on this emulator. It's insane, and the future possibilities are huge. This market fragmentation is still a development challenge, but it's also what makes mobile what it is. This is the most played platform in the world because everyone has a phone. Its accessibility makes it unstoppable, but in some ways, it also holds it back. To wrap this up, one of the goals of this video was to show that mobile games are just as valid as games on any other platform. And that's not saying they're perfect, there's still a lot of room for improvement. But you know what, dude? It's 2025, and we've got subscription services like Apple Arcade, Google Play Pass, Crunchyroll, and Netflix? I mean, Netflix games even comes included at no extra cost, and okay, they're putting games out there that are actually pretty interesting, and I've heard they're even investing in buying studios to offer something different from what we usually see in app stores. We've also got emulators, even on iPhone. Why are Android users laughing? Then there's cloud gaming, bringing AAA experiences to any device, and Steam Link is completely free. Pair that with a Bluetooth controller, and that combo might make you rethink buying a Steam Deck.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it!
We've got more options than ever. And honestly, I'm excited to see what's next. But what about you? Is this as far as the medium goes, or do you think mobile gaming could become something more? And what would have to change for it to get better? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'll be checking out the comments later. I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say. Don't forget to drop a like for the longest video in the history of the Cutting Edge YouTube channel. Jace, we'll miss you, brother. My name is JB, this is the Cutting Edge, and if you're new to the channel, it's tradition at this point to say, I'll cut you later, because it's the Cutting Edge, so instead of catch you later, never mind.